If you find it easy to speak up in meetings, then congratulations. But for so many of us, it's a struggle. So if you are wrestling with how to speak up in meetings, then I'm going to explain what to do in this video. I'm also going to share with you a free resource that will give you exact words, exact scripts for what to say and ask in a meeting and sound strategic. Welcome, I'm May Bush, former COO for Morgan Stanley Europe, and now executive coach, speaker, author, and founder of Career Mastery. I help professionals overcome career obstacles so they can succeed faster and more easily. Now, one of my wonderful subscribers asked me this question: how do I speak up in meetings? I tend not to say much in meetings since I'm introverted and lean toward the quieter side. I think this holds me back from a growth perspective in my current middle management role. Any suggestions on how I can speak up more? Well, yes, you need to be seen and heard to succeed in your career. And meetings are a crucial time to show up and demonstrate your value. So I am going to share with you 5 ways to make it easier for you to speak up in meetings. And as I go through these 5, I want you to listen for the ones that are going to be most useful for you, because it all depends on what makes it hard for you to speak up. So the first is reframe the why. Reframe the purpose of your speaking up. And this is especially helpful if you don't like self-promotion. That was certainly true for me. And I found that if I reframed it so that it wasn't about me, it was about representing my team well, or my client. So representing a group that's counting on you to speak up for them. And the more visible and respected you are, the more you can be helping your team or your clients or your colleagues who are in other groups working for you on a project. You can pull them up along with you. The second way is to prepare what you're going to say. And this is especially helpful if you aren't sure what you want to say and you get in the meeting and it's just really hard to figure out what it is that you're going to want to say. There are 2 ways that you can contribute to meetings, and the first way is to share something, convey something, update people on something that you're an expert in. And this way of contributing, what you do to prepare is you prepare 3 main points, 3 bullet points. Or it could just be 1, but 3 has a nice cadence to it. And when you pre-prepare those 3 bullet points, then you're going to feel so much more confident when you rock up to the meeting and you already know what you're going to say. So that helps when you're the expert. But let's say you're not the expert. Somebody else is the expert. Then you can still contribute to the meeting and add value by asking a question. Asking questions can be more powerful than knowing answers. For example, you can ask a question that shifts the whole direction of the conversation. You can ask a question that helps to link what the presenter is talking about and what you and your group do to find a way of working together that's going to create even more value for the organization. For example, you could also ask a question that gets the person to explain a little bit further what they're talking about. And that might be useful for them, it might be useful for everyone. So then the third way is to think about when you want to speak up in a meeting. There are 3 times in a meeting when you can speak up. There's the beginning, there's the middle, and there's the end. So the beginning is a great time if you like introducing concepts, if you have something pre-prepared, that's a nice time to talk about it right up front. Then the end is a really great time if you're the kind of person who's really good at summarizing things. If you're good at listening throughout the meeting and then synthesizing all the themes and then sharing those at the end. That can really make you sound like you're very strategic and have a lot of gravitas. Then the middle is a big, wide space of time when you could be contributing. And here you could be adding to somebody else's point, piggybacking off of someone else's point, supporting their point. That's always really nice. It could be to ask a question like we were talking about. It could be to add something that you know about that would enhance the dialogue that's going on. So you want to pick your spots, but let's say that you find it really hard to jump in, whether it's at the beginning, middle, or end. Then you can enlist the help of the person who set up the meeting and ask for a slot on the agenda. So that way you know you've got a set piece that you're going to do, you can prepare and feel confident. Or if that's not possible, then you can arrange to have the meeting organizer ask you a question when it comes to the topic that you're comfortable with talking about. Or you could even enlist a colleague. I call them a friendly. You can say, hey, Beth, I'm a little bit nervous about jumping in and knowing when to jump in. Could you ask me to say something when we get to the part about whatever, the XYZ that I know about? And Beth might be saying something like, oh, that's a great point, John. You know, May and I were just talking about this in the hallway beforehand. May, why don't you just share what your thoughts were on that? And then I have a natural opening to jump in. The fourth thing is to practice, and to practice out loud. So this is especially helpful if you are the least bit nervous. I was very, very nervous. And so practicing out loud was so helpful. In fact, I remember this one piece that I had a 3-minute slot to say something, and I was so nervous. I made my wonderful husband listen to me practice it 50 times. Yeah, 50. I mean, he could have gone and given this little piece of talk, but I highly recommend saying it out loud. Then when you are in the meeting and the opening comes up, then you can jump in there and say it because you've already said it out loud. You know what it's going to sound like. You can be confident in it. Then the fifth one is to say something within the first 60 seconds of entering the room. Yeah, first 60 seconds, first minute. This is helpful if you're the kind of person who will worry about, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? When is the opening? Okay. So this was me. And I had finally sit there and, oh gosh, it's been 10 minutes. I haven't said anything. Oh my God, the meeting is half over. I still haven't said anything. Then there would be a point that I could come up with. I'd go, oh gosh, okay, I could say this. And then I'd get up all the courage. It would take me 30 seconds to just get up the courage to say something. And by that time, somebody else would have made the point and everybody would have gone, what a great point Carol just made. And I'd go, oh no, I have to come up with another point now. And I'd spend another 10 minutes beating myself up, and you get the picture. It was really a downward spiral. So that's why I always like to hear my voice in the room in the first 60 seconds. And I'm not talking about anything necessarily momentous. So it could be that the meeting hasn't even started. You're waiting for the organizer to come in and you're just pouring coffee for yourself or just chit-chatting, sitting around the table. And you could just say, hey, Greg, great to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. How is Project X going? You were just starting it when I saw you last. So just hearing your voice just breaks the ice. And then the rest of it was so much easier for me. So remember to reframe the why, prepare what you want to say, think about when you want to jump in and get help jumping in if you need it, practice out loud, and hear your voice in the first 60 seconds. And also remember to download the free resource that will help you in meetings. It's called 37 Things to Say and Ask in Meetings to Sound Strategic. I think you're going to love it. So if you have a question about your career, then click the Ask May link in this video or in the description and ask away. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it and it would help out our channel. And make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications because you're not going to want to miss any of our videos that help you advance in your career faster and more easily. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.